Greetings, welcome on board the Sirius 310 ODS. I'm Torsten Schmidt, the owner of Sirius Yachts, and I'm going to show you around this boat. We're on board of the 310 ODS and I'm going to impress you a bit on the maneuverability of this boat. There are a few things which you have to know about the setup of the rudder and the engine. First of all, we have a relatively big rudder, which allows us to have a very good maneuverability. But there's also a special thing on the setup of the rudder and the engine. First, to start with the similarities to other boats. On all the other boats you will find the rudder about here, and then you need about 40 centimeters of rudder technique, and then in front of that you usually will find about 2 meters of aft cabin. As we don't like aft cabin with the slapping water in the back, we have the engine placed here and the sail drive here, which means the propeller is here and the rudder is here. This is a very direct positioning of the rudder to the propeller. This also means that we can work with the prop wash very directly. I'm not talking of prop walk. Prop walk is the direction the propeller walks you, which is always on the same side, which you can't influence. But the prop wash works into both directions equally. And because we have the prop working here and the big rudder here, we can just turn the rudder to one side and give a little wash forward. And what happens is, the back of the boat gets kicked over to this side. Turning the rudder over to this side, giving a little wash forward, will just bring the boat over to that side. I'm going directly back into reverse because I want to stay near here and have a look to the flagstaff. This also works into the other way. And back again. This actually means you have the maneuverability as if you would have a back thruster. This boat not even have a bow thruster, of course you could have, but because of this very direct prop wash, you can turn the boat on the very spot, 360 degrees, wherever you are. And with very little training, you see I'm not doing any rocket science, it's just the throttle and the rudder. You can maneuver her on about 7 to 8 centimeters to the spot where you want to go. You don't have to go full throttle, you don't have to have the rudder totally in, but you can just maneuver her on a very close quarter, very sensibly, without big drama in it. Going back the other way. And you might turn all the way out. And bring her a bit away from the danger over there. Or if this is too far away to get the rope over, you just turn the wheel over to the other side, give a little wash forward, and doing that again. The back of the boat is just kicked over and you're turning in a very small spot on her heels or on her keels, or as the English say, on a sixpence. So bringing her back that way, just giving a wash forward, going backwards. Actually, on this close quarters, there's no need to bring the tiller over to the other side, because this is just such a short way. So you just leave the rudder like it is, give another wash forward, and turn around as you want to have her. As some people have sent me emails after seeing the other maneuverability videos about what kind of back thruster it was, just want to show you again what does trigger this movement. If I bring the rudder over to this side, the rudder stands like this, and now the prop wash is kicking on this side of the rudder, kicking the back of the boat over to this side. Showing that. Going backwards. And the boat moves over to this side. Now I'm going to turn the rudder over to this side. The rudder stands now this way, and the prop wash is going to hit it on this side and kicking the boat over to this side. Doing that again. With this maneuverability, there is hardly any situation where you can't help yourself out of it, because you're always in a position to turn the boat 360 degrees on the very spot where you are without much space in between. So I'm now more or less 90 degrees to the bay where we are in. I'm going to turn the boat backwards there, and then I will show you how you can turn her on close quarters. So as said before, I just bring the rudder over to this side, give a hard wash. The boat moves over to this side, and as she is a heavy displacement, she will continue the turn, so I can ride her into the way where I want to go. And if the wind is going to pick me up and will carry the bow over to this side, I can do that as often as I like. So if I can't go very fast and I'm not going into the direction where I want to go, I'm just doing it again, bringing the rudder over to this side, giving a wash, and I'm redirecting the boat into the direction where I want to have her. So I'm going backwards now. And going to do a 90-degree turn against the wind in this very bay here. The big rudder is helping me. At the moment the bow goes against the wind. And I'm now turning the rudder over to this side and give a hard wash. And you see what happens. The boat is turning on the very spot against the wind through 180 degrees. As soon as I have some space where I can maneuver backwards, of course I can use the rudder in the right direction. Because it's a big rudder, she will start to turn quite easily, but that will not be enough here. So I'm just turning the rudder over to this side, give a little wash, then I'm turning her over this way, and then I'm going backwards again. Now the wind starts to pick me up and starts to press me over there, but I have a big rudder, and I can turn her in the way I want to go. Not going too fast here. I can slalom her in the bay, and I'm going to turn her around another time, just going through 90 degrees now, against the bow, against the wind. She starts to turn now against the wind, and when I have not much space left, I go into forward on the other rudder, on the other side, and the back of the boat is turning. If that wasn't enough, I'm just doing that again. and I'm back in the direction where I came from. I've done a 360 in this relatively narrow bay. This was backwards. Backwards is always a bit more difficult than forward. I'm going to show you how that looks in a forward direction. We're coming into this bay now, and you might need some speed because there's quite some wind from the side. At the moment we have about 10-12 knots from the side, so you might just be in a position that you have to turn around, and I'm doing that here just by turning the rudder over to the side, going into backwards to stop the forward motion, and you see the boat continues to turn, and I'm nearly through 180 degrees here. Doing that again. Turning here on the very spot through 160. I'm just going to do that in here again the other way around, that you don't think it's just one-sided. Just turning the rudder over, turning the bow against the wind, going slightly backwards. The boat continues to turn while I'm doing that, and if that wasn't enough, I'm just giving another push of throttle, another wash against the rudder. And we've done a 180 in this bay here without any drama and without the bow thruster and with no back thruster. It was just the throttle, so the prop wash against the rudder. And that could be done with tiller, even with the wheel steering. I really like to do it. Thank you for watching our videos. If you'd like to have more information about our boats, visit our website at sirius-werft.de or contact us directly. Thank you and goodbye.